New World expansion is absolutely popping off, but there's a lot of people complaining about the fact that they need to do a very particular type of endgame in order to get good gear. And of course, they mean elite chest runs. And this is of course running around like maniacs in circles over and over again every day, collecting little chests in order to get lucky and get the particular type of gear that you need. And then of course having to clear your bags afterwards with all this gear to see which one is not completely useless. But is this actually how it works? Is this particular type of gear, Infixes, really worth this type of gameplay? And if so, what solution can we get so people can play the game in the way that they want to play? Well, let's go through it. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. Go to my Twitch to watch me live every morning. And let's get into it. Now, first of all, what is this Infix gear? How does it work? Well, you can see it right here. I haven't gotten one because I really haven't been farming this. But usually you have a gem slot, you have these charms that you can pick and switch, and you have the perk on the bottom, as you can see right here. It's always the same way, just like you see here. Charm, gem, and then perks on the bottom. Well, whenever an infix exists, it appears at the top, and this is a very specific type of buff, a specific type of perk that can only be gotten through specific type of gear. And these are very, very powerful, not only because just by themselves are very good, but they interact with the set armor that we're getting in this expansion. You can see that a lot of them are called Enraged Leech, for example, Enraged Refresh, Enraged Hunt. This obviously goes well with the Enraged set bonus. In this especially, you can even see them paired up on the right side. This means that if you indeed want some of these items, some of these sets that are very, very powerful, you want to pair them out with this Infixes to have the most amount of power in the smallest amount of gear. And in order to get any of these items, you can really do a lot of stuff. If I hover over this, it tells you raid drop. It drops from particular dungeon enemies. It drops from the PvP reward track, and it's very important, it also comes from elite chests. And that is a little bit of an issue, because what is harder to do? To do a raid, to do a dungeon, to do a catacomb, or just pick up chests over and over and over again that are pre-cleared by everybody that you can see right here, and the amount of chances you get of getting these infixes is way major than if you were just doing bosses. What is easier to do? To kill one boss or to pick one chest? Yeah, it's the chest. That's without even considering the fact that you can actually get yourself an insane amount of gear while doing the elite chest runs. That is very, very good. Sometimes better than the sets that you can get from actual content. But Darren, the elite chest can only be opened once a day. That is true. And that should make it better, because you might as well just go do some other type of content you can repeat over and over and over again. The problem is, there are a lot of chest runs. There's Merc, there's the two of them here on Reekwater, there are two in Nighthaven, there's the Cutlass Key ones. If you want to do all of this to be efficient, to get all these infixes and all this gear, you probably want to do this every day, which means that you're gonna be the only gameplay you're gonna see, especially as a non-streamer, right, that can only play a few hours a day, is gonna be just doing these chest runs until you can actually play the game. But Darren's, you need the sets in order to make them work, and the sets are very good. And yeah, some of them really are good. Stifling is necessary for PvP, Focus is great for healing, Protector's Blessing is great for tanking, Tenacity is also super nice, and Elementally Charge is pretty good to start with, and maybe in some builds he might even be best. The thing is, some of these infixes don't even need the set for them to work. You can just use them. If you're a tank, a Tenacity Recovery, incoming heals increase 10% while Grit is active. You always have a Grit. You're a tank. That's what you want to have. You don't need that set of Tenacity to make this work. It works better with this Tenacity set, but still, this is very good. Tenacity Critical. Critical hit chance is increased by 10% while Grid is active. The same thing applies here. There's many things here that you don't really need the set, and you could argue that the set is worse than some of these infixes. But what should we do? I mean, infixes are kind of cool for build crafting. They give you a lot of different ways of making builds. Even if they're too powerful, they shouldn't be the leader, right? Yeah, I would absolutely agree. Having all this variance in gear is a good thing. They need to figure out a better way for us to tag between different types of gear so our bags don't look like this. But yeah, there's definitely benefits from this. In my opinion, there's two reasons why this problem exists. One, for example, is the acquisition method. I think it's completely okay to have farms like elite chest runs. I think they're super fun to just go around with people. Not everybody likes them, but it's a core MMORPG experience. And I just love hanging out with people, just running around, destroying enemies, feeling powerful, and getting a lot of loot. That is kind of what MMORPGs are about. But MMORPGs are also about coordination, gameplay, especially a game like New World. There's just so much cool content here that can be played that sometimes feels like it's not worth playing. And that is the responsibility of the game developers to not make it feel that way. Should people just be like, man, I don't want to do elite chest runs, I want to do PvP, and maybe I'll be a bit slower getting these infixes, but at least I will have fun? Yeah, they should definitely do this. I have an entire video on this, and why actually gearing up in other ways is sometimes more beneficial to your actual goal of getting best in slots than just running elite chest runs over and over again. But that doesn't mean that people won't feel bad about it. We are MMORPG players. We will destroy our enjoyment of the game in order to be optimal, in order to be superior in terms of gear to other people. And it is the responsibility of the developer to make it so the most optimal way of getting something is not super unfun, because people will do it. Yes, they shouldn't do it, but it goes both ways. The individual needs to understand this problem, but the developers need to not allow it to happen. And it's way easier for the developer to make it so gearing is not toxic in some way than convincing every player in the game. World of Warcraft has had to learn this lesson throughout years and years between gearing, add-ons, and so much more. Another thing they can actually do is to make the sets more powerful. These sets can only be gotten through actually doing some content, like raids, catacombs, and PvP. So make it more powerful. So, well, you need the set anyways. Might as well go do the raid. Might as well do some PvP so you can focus on that part, and maybe you get the infixes slowly while gearing that too. But right now, it almost feels like it's better to just focus on the infixes, because those are the very important ones. At the end of the day, this issue is completely fixable. And it is on Amazon to actually understand how these things work, because they will happen over and over again in their MMO. It's an MMO at the end of the day. But they just cannot sit here and wait for it to just be fixed by itself. They need to do it instead. And I really hope that they do, as otherwise, a lot of people, I think, will get very frustrated by feeling like they're just grinding every day the same content for just a small little upgrade. But let me know what you guys think. Go check my video on how you can actually collect all these best items while also having fun. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. Go to my Twitch to watch me live every morning. See you guys around. Love you all. Ciao, ciao.